Today, we would like to honor a senator who went to Washington and actually did what he said he was going to do, which is a novel idea in Washington. He has stood up for the Constitution. He is often the lone voice of reason in the Senate, and that's our Kentucky Senator Rand Paul.
And it's not a left-right thing, and that was the thing that shocked some people about standing up for the right to trial by jury, standing up and saying the president's powers are circumscribed, the president's powers are limited. And people say, oh, well, you just came up with an absurdity. He's never going to drop a drone on anybody and, as Kelly laughed, ruin their cafe experience. After 13 hours, you do say some things that now do sound a little bit silly. But the point of the matter is we are currently using drones overseas, and we are killing a lot of people who aren't actively involved in combat. So the thing is, the question is isn't that absurd? That is the standard we're using overseas. Are we going to use the same standard for Americans? And for goodness sakes, that should be an easy answer. I said to the president, it should be an easy answer. We said to Eric Holder, it should be an easy answer. It should be an unequivocal no, for goodness sakes. You could never kill an American without a trial, without an accusation. And we got nothing. We got silence. I asked it in writing. For 6 weeks, we asked the same question. Some of the media said, well, that's just an absurd question. If it's an absurd question, it should have been an easy no. We got no answer over and over again. And then finally, we get an answer from the president. He's asked at Google campus, will you do this? And he said, the rules inside America will be different than those outside America. Well, that's fairly ominous because that implies he's got plans for us in America with drones. It's very ominous to think that there could be any kind of plan. Now, people say, well, do you think the president's this evil monster that would kill people in America? And I don't think that. He actually, I said, when he was in the Senate, I think he would have been up here standing with me. But what's happened? There's a contagion. And this contagion happens to Republicans and Democrats. When they go from the legislature to the president, they think, I'm a good person. I would never do anything wrong, so why would I want to limit my power? I'm president, so I will do good things with it. Give me more power. There's a great danger to power, no matter how good the person is, no matter how well-intentioned, there's a great danger to power. It's not about President Obama. It never was about him. It's about power given to any one individual to supersede the right to a trial by jury, to supersede the right to adjudication of whether someone's innocent or guilty. Our court systems have a tough time. Our court systems occasionally make mistake on guilt. So would you want one individual to be able to assess who is and who isn't a terrorist? And you can think of situations. Think of an Arab American in our country who's got a cousin in Lebanon who sends emails to him, and maybe his cousin is or isn't a terrorist, but he's communicating with him because he's a cousin. If you're investigating him, get a judge's warrant. If you want to look at his email, look at it. If you want to arrest him and say he's connected with a terrorist and he's sending money to his cousin, by all means do. But you can't just simply kill him. And this didn't just start with the drones. A year before, we had something called indefinite detention, passed in the National Defense Authorization, and the president said the same thing then that he said at Google campus. He says, I don't intend to, but I might. That's not good enough. The Constitution isn't about the oath of office says, I shall defend, preserve, and protect the Constitution. My goodness, I'm getting carried away here. It says, I shall do this. I will do this. It doesn't say, I intend to when it's convenient. And that was one of the other words they were using, when it's feasible. When it's feasible to arrest somebody. Well, when is it not feasible to arrest one of us? It's never not feasible. If someone has committed a rape tonight in Louisville, the police will call a judge on the phone, and there will be a conversation with a non-policeman to a non-participant who listens in a rational way and says, yes, you can have a warrant. Almost always you do get a warrant. You almost are never turned down for a warrant. But it's one simple step that we should ask. But when I asked this question on the floor to, who was the guy that said something about wacko birds? What was it? When I asked this gentleman on the floor, we'll leave his name out of it. When I asked him on the floor, could an American be arrested and sent to Guantanamo Bay? His answer was yes, if they're a danger. But that begs the question, who gets to decide if you're a danger? I think what we have to offer is something incredibly potent if we can figure out how to let people know what we're for. I think a beginning is letting people know that we are for the freedom of every individual, black, white, and brown, and that we will fight in an honest and sincere way to defend those for all Americans. Thank you very much.